All right, good morning, everybody. This is the first morning I hadn't, well, except for the times I shut down because of the ice and stuff, but this is the first morning in a while that I hadn't had a trap line to run. So what I'm doing today, guys, I'm getting all my traps laid out up there in front of the shop, and I'm going to get them all washed off and put up for the summertime, and I'm going to kind of walk you guys through my process of doing that. But before we do, I figured I'd give you just a little bit of different scenery than what we've been having. This is back here behind my house. Had a few traps that I had set back here for predators, and when the ice came, I tripped everything. I never got anything set back, but I never took the time to come back here and pull it either. So right here you can see I had a dirt hole set up. Basically it's just a little sand mound that I use to target practice some rifles and stuff. Got a pretty good shooting lane here through the timber into this sand, and then I just put this dirt hole in this trap guard nip. And then right up in here, guys, got a had a guy contact me wanting some raccoons, and so I targeted a few raccoons just to fill his order that he wanted. Now here's one of my dog proofs I had set up to catch raccoons. So I'm gonna get this pulled, and basically, guys, I really hadn't shown you dog proofs much at all, so let me get this thing on my head and I'll show you how I have my dog proof set up. So basically, this is a dog proof trap if you guys aren't familiar with it. And what I mean, and the reason it's called a dog proof trap is because the animal has to stick their hand down in this tube, and the trigger's at the very bottom of it. Right here's the back end of the trigger mechanism. So an animal has to stick their hand all the way down to the bottom of that tube, grab a hold of that trigger, and you got different kinds. This one's a pull one. Some of them are pull and push. So that animal on this trap has actually got to reach down there, grab a hold of that trigger with his hand and pull it up, like the monkey sticking his arm in a hole, you know. But anyway, he pulls that up and that triggers that trap. And these springs right here is set, and when he triggers that trap, it closes, and the top end of that trap, this wire here, holds that raccoon's hand in the trap until I come along and get him. But basically the way I got these things set up, got to paint them bright colored so I can see them. It doesn't matter for raccoons. And then on the back end of it, I just got a cable extension on the factory chain that comes with it. And this one comes with 2 swivels here in this chain, and I just come in here and put an extension on top of that. And basically I took a double ferrule and a stop, and I worked my wire through that double ferrule so it's almost like a slip knot. It can run up and down different lengths of that cable, and then just double fed it back through the double ferrule and put a stop on this end to lock it where it won't come undone, come out. And then that just makes a real easy anchoring system for me. I can just take that, wrap it around a tree, drop that trap through that loop, and then pull everything tight, and that trap's anchored to a tree. So anyway, I'll get this thing back up here. I'll show you guys real quick too. I think I showed it in one of my other videos, but I'll show you guys how I pull my foothold canine traps. And so right here's my stake puller, guys. I've showed it before. It's just a long, sturdy, solid piece of metal. It's got that platform welded on the bottom of it so that I can use it in wet and sandy conditions. But anyway, all I do, guys, I come in here, I come down here to either my first swivel or this split ring. In this case, you can go either place. Just run that through that split ring. If you don't have a split ring, you can just run it right through the barrel of that swivel. And what I do, guys, I've got this set up with 2 welded links of chain. I can move it to either position if it's better. But now I've got that trap hooked on there. I'm just going to twist it to take up that slack in that line, and I'm just going to pull up. All right, now we got that trap out of there. Now I can throw it in my pile and get it washed and cleaned up and put up for the summertime, guys. Just real quick, I guess, since I'm doing show and tell, This right here is how I got my anchoring systems, guys. I just started switching to these split rings this year, and I'm liking them. So I just take that split ring, put it through that swivel, comes from the factory on your chain. I build me an extension on the bottom of it. I've just got a what they call these pogo earth anchors. It's basically a J hook, or you can take a 20 penny nail, bend it around to this shape, make your own if you wanted to, and then it's got this flat washer that the head of the nail is holding on, and that's basically what I drive into the ground. I'll drive it into the ground sideways like this, straight down. When I get it to the depth that I want it, I'll jerk on that cable, and by jerking on that cable, it flattens that washer out. And these things sometimes are impossible to get out of the ground without breaking something, guys. So that'll hold unbelievably. But that's what I use. That's cheap. It works. It works for me, and that's my anchoring system for my canine traps. All right, guys. So I got a few more down through here. I'm just gonna make my rounds, get everything pulled this morning, and then I'll check back in with you. I'll check back in with you here in a little bit, and I'll show you how I get those traps cleaned up and put up. All right, guys, last two traps of the season, pulling them out of the ground. This is officially done here. Now, this is where we caught a couple of gray foxes. Me and Kinsley one morning had a gray fox catch right here at this set, and then very next day we caught the partner of that gray fox, and I showed you how to release that gray fox by hand if you ever had to. And then right over here I've got another dog-proof trap attached to this tree. Basically, there's a trail right here on top of this ditch that runs down through here, and they're always real visible, guys. But I just had that dog-proof anchored to this tree here, and I had it set right in the middle of this trail, baited with some dog food, cheap dog food or cheap cat food, and that'll pick your coons up. Guys, if you got ditches like this, big ditches that run through, and this one holds about this amount of water all year long. It doesn't ever fill up. It drains pretty good. Actually, it drains into a watershed not too far from the house. But man, take your time, guy. I find a lot of arrowheads down in the bottom of this ditch. The Indian artifacts. It's pretty neat, and it always makes me stop when I find them. It always makes me stop and think about how those people lived, and just ponder on it for a little bit, and think about how good we got it in today's world compared to then, or how good we think we've got it. But anyway, guys, there's a lot of animal tracks down the bottom of this ditch too. I mean, I saw coon tracks. I saw a bobcat track where it was walking down the edge of this ditch looking for something to eat. But just take your time, guys. A lot of times we get out here and we get in a hurry. We want to get done what we want to get done. If you ever got the ability to just slow down and look around you, and you'll see so many amazing things that you normally don't see. And anyway, guys, I'm gonna get this dog proof out of here and get back up to the shop, and I'll show you guys how I get all this stuff cleaned up and put up for the year. All right, guys, so basically now I've got everything that went in the dirt this year. Everything I used is laid out here in front of the shop on the concrete. This is all my canine footholds that I used this year, and then these are the TS85s and the Bridger number 5s footholds that I use for beaver. This is all my 330s and smaller, all down in my conibear traps. This is all my stakes and my setters and my hammer, everything that got muddy. Got the dog proofs and the smaller conibears, the 110s, 220s back here laid out. Didn't use very many of them this year, but that's what I used. Guys, I store everything in milk crates, just simply because they're easy to get my hands on, and it's about as much weight as I want to lift and carry around. When I get one of them milk crates full, that's about what I want to tote around. I don't want to tote around anything heavier than that. I can get 5 330s in each milk crate, and then all these canine foothold traps, they'll fill up a crate and a half, maybe 2 crates. And then same thing, 2 or 3 crates for these bigger beaver footholds. And but anyway, that's the way I store them. I'll put them in milk crates, and then I'll stack them in the shop when I'm done. This little electric pressure washer is what I'm going to use to get the job done. Guys, this thing's been great. I mean, these are cheap. I think when I bought it a few years ago, is right at $100 for this little electric pressure washer, and it's worked great, stood up to time. I've had big gas ones before, and it seems like all the bigger gas pressure washers I've had in the past, it seems like the carburetor goes out on them in no time. They just don't stand up to being used. But this little guy I decided to go cheap, just get something cheap instead of spending all that money on a gas one, and I'm glad that I did. I'm sure the price on these things have gone up with the economy like it is, but it's a great little pressure washer to do this right here, what I need to do. And then, of course, I'm not going to forget the Ranger. When I get done, I'm going to get the Ranger pressure washed, all the mud off it, get it cleaned up, and shouldn't be in a whole lot of mud throughout the summer, and get it cleaned up and ready to go, guys. But anyway, just got my water hose attached to my pressure washer there, and then got it plugged up there high so it don't get wet as we're doing. And I'm just going to set you guys here on the Ranger, probably speed this up, maybe add some music to it, and just show you what I do. So basically, I'm just gonna wash everything off the best that I can. If I see any traps that are damaged or bent or need to be worked on, I'll throw them off to the side. They'll get separated and get worked on over the summer, be ready to go again next year. And that's really nothing to it, man. Just want to do this. It'll make these traps last longer and preserve them for the long run. So see if I can get you guys set up here where you can see. All right, guys. So looking at the GoPro, that took less than 15 minutes. And look, to get all the mud and debris and everything off these traps and ready to store for the summer. So guys, take 15 minutes. I promise you, those 15 minutes will benefit you in the long run, putting these traps up right. Guys, if you notice, these canine traps is what took the longest. Of course, as we bury them in dirt, the less to be expected. All the water traps, they're in the water, so they weren't too bad. But on these canine traps, guys, these earth anchors, I stretch my chains out on these canine traps and wash those earth anchors off too, because they're definitely reusable if you can get them out of the ground. Several of these traps I had to come in here and set just to get the grass out from between the jaws and stuff. So I go back through there and trip them. I didn't see any damage on any of my foothold canine traps. Some of them are missing anchors and stuff, but that's no big deal. Now on the beaver traps, guys, I didn't unwrap the chain. A couple of them have come unwrapped, but I didn't unwrap any of them. I just basically wanted to get what mud and stuff was on there off. This pile of 330s that I made over here are the springs are still compressed. I think there's a few more back over here, but I just want to make sure that all my springs on my 330s are compressed and open to store them for the summertime. Of course, this one here I'm going to have to set and get that grass out of it. I'll do it here in just a second, and go through here and pick the rest of these compressed 330s out and get them over on that pile. And I'll have to uncompress those before I put them into a milk crate. But guys, take your time. I won't make you watch me washing the mule off, but I'm going to do it while I've got the pressure washer and everything here too. Basically, guys, I'll let these sit here now and dry in the sun. Probably come back out here this afternoon and put them up. If they're still wet, I'll wait until tomorrow. Basically, just get them all put in those milk crates, get them set inside the shop out of the weather for the summertime, and then get everything put up and stored, and then come next spring it'll be organized and ready to go again. But that's kind of my end of the season ritual to get things put up, guys. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you here in a little bit with something a little bit different in the honeybees. All right, everyone, it's not the job that I would if I had to pay somebody to wash this thing for me, it's not the job I would expect to get back, but with me doing it, it's good enough. Okay, got the majority of the mud off the mule, got all the traps tripped, and it looks like they're drying fine, guys. I may go ahead and start putting them up right now and get them out of the way and get the job done, and I'll show you guys how I put them in the milk crates to store them for the summer. All right, guys, there's everything put in milk crates and laying here. The only thing left to do now is to get it set in the shop and stored where I want it to be stored all summer long. Now next year when season starts up, all I got to do is come in here and grab these milk crates. Whatever I'm setting for canines, I can just grab my footholds and go. They're ready to go. My 330s are ready to go. My smaller 330s, they're ready to go. Dog proofs I've got in this milk crate. So everything's ready to go. All I gotta do is grab a milk crate, sit in the back of the mule, and I'm ready to take off and get traps set again. Now guys, when I started, made up my mind I was gonna film this season. Of course, I've been watching YouTube and other YouTube video what do you call us, YouTubers, I guess, or content makers. So anyway, one of them that I watch is called Mike Berry, and he is a beekeeper down in southern Louisiana, and he is always saying, I don't make how-to videos, I make how I do videos. And I've kind of taken that to heart. I like that saying, and I hope that, and I had that in the back of my mind the whole time I was doing my videos and recording this season, guys, and I hope it come across that way. Remember, my way isn't the only way to do things. It's just the way that I do it to get things done. And I'm hoping by recording my season and showing you guys how I do it, you can pick up little things that I do and add it to what you do to make your line better. And I'm always doing that too, guys. I'm always watching how other people do things, and and seeing if I can take something that they do and make my life easier. So that's what I hope to accomplish with these videos this year. I hope I've done that. I've hoped some of you guys have been able to pull some content off of what I do and apply it to your life and what you do. These milk crates are by no means the easiest way to store traps, or the only way to store traps. It's just the way that I do it. They're easy to come by. They're free. I can get one of them full, and it's about the weight that I want to carry around. You know, they don't stack just perfectly with those traps in them, but I can get them back here in the corner of my shop out of the way, and I don't have to worry about them until next year. It works for me. So just take that for what it is, guys. Watch what I do, the way that I do it, to get things done, and hopefully you can pick up on something and apply it to your getting things done, and it'll help benefit you. So guys, thanks for watching all season. This is probably going to be the last trapping video for a while. And I'm going to get all this stuff put up and call trapping a wrap for the season. Get moved on to other things.